Hi, all. This is Dr. J, streaming live from Long Island, New York. Spike and Jake won't be with me tonight, so I'm going to do the show solo. We're going to concentrate on two of my favorite stocks, CVM and athx. We're going to look at the studies that are in progress in some detail, at least as much detail as Dr. J knows them. And we're going to kind of play a little what if game, with respect to the data in both cases. Let's start with CVM. Before I start expounding and explaining the study that the big study on head and neck cancer, which most of you know almost as much about, or maybe more about than I do, but I want to take a quick look at the chart first and then see if we can review the study and where we are now and the stock price and where we are now. So let's take a look first at the chart. I got excited today because this was a pop to new all-time, not all-time highs, but new highs, probably 5-year highs. I didn't go back that long ago. But it's a beautiful big green candle closing near the high of the day at 1609. And the bullishness continues after hours. So it was an extremely bullish pattern. And I think we're going to continue to see a rise right through data at this point. Because if you do the mathematics, and you don't have to be a PhD in math to do the mathematics, the data seems to be easily guessed at in terms of likelihood of beating the primary endpoints. I would say a meet is almost guaranteed, and it's just a question of how big is the beat. And judging by Wall Street, most of the toots seem to be agreeing with me, and I think a lot of this is late institutional money, in my opinion. So I think the money is coming in very late before data. It's a binary bet, but I think the odds have turned strongly in favor of CVM. I think basically the shorts have given up. So we could see a nice run into data. When do I think data will occur? I think any day. I think it's a day-by-day event. I think we would see dilution if data wasn't around the corner, but I don't think we will see dilution until after data. So there will need to be a capital raise, but that'll occur at much higher prices. That's my first note. Let's back up to 2011 when the trial began. It's a multi-centered head and neck cancer trial, the largest ever. 928 patients were enrolled. They were enrolled in 3 groups. 2011 started it, and September 2016, the last patient was dosed. So how does it look? It looks like 1/7 of the 928 don't count in the data. That is, its primary endpoint is at 298, 209. Maybe I should just jot some of this down. Jiggly, you're my main man. I don't know that that's true. That's true. CVM Tandem in space. I'm in all of them. I'm not an investment advisor. Do your own due diligence. My opinions are strictly my own and do not constitute investment advice. That goes to Spike and Jake and Jiggly and any other guests that appear on this show and any other friends. So Jiggly, you're getting me into trouble. Oh, Jiggly, please, come on. Give Dr. J a break. Lynn. How you doing, Lynn? Clarence is our resident guru. All right, so I just wanted to introduce some of our regulars. But let me jot down some important numbers. 928. First one. And what is 928 again? That's right, the total number enrolled in the study. And let me put down another number. September 2016. September 2016. Okay, why is that number important? That is the date the last patient was actually dosed with multikine. And let's continue with some more numbers. Let's look at the primary endpoint. Primary endpoint is first of all, studies before that. Study stops when 298 events. Study stops at 298 events. And those events are not good events. So it's an event-driven study. It will stop when 298 events occur, or it could stop when the IDMC, the Independent Data Monitoring Committee, IDMC, says so, or IDMC stops it. Now, why would the IDMC stop it? Well, if it's futility is one reason. Or I suppose it's also possible the results are so one-sided that it has to stop it early, even though because it's doing so great. So I suppose that's a possibility. But the IDMC has met several times. Most recently, I think, about 6 months ago, and said it should continue to conclusion. So if that's the case, it is very close to 298 deaths, and it will continue till conclusion. There's a company called Ergomed that has a nice sized stake in CVM. They took a nice stake in CVM, and they are the CRO, the administrator of the study. And Ergomed came out with numbers that we were 4% away from 298 events. 4% away from 298. So how much is that? About 12 more deaths, 12 more events, or 12 more events. And that was about 6 months ago. Now, why is that so relevant? Well, let's go over the overall numbers again. 928, remember that number? 1/7 of those don't count in terms of the 298 events. It's as if there were 1/7 less. We're getting all kinds of comments. We'll get to them in a little bit. So reduce the amount by, and I'll explain why if you want. 1/7 do not count because in addition to multikine and standard of care, an adjuvant was also given, which is some kind of a mineral cocktail, a zinc cocktail of some kind. So this group did not get that adjuvant. They want to see if it does equally well, I suppose, but it's not relevant to the trial. So 1/7 of 928, let's say, is bringing us down to this number, 795 approximately. Let me type in 795. So there's basically 795 head and neck patients left in the study. If you assume a dropout rate of, let's say, I don't know, let's say 95, dropout rate of 95, let's say the dropout rate of 95. So that would bring us down to 700. So dropout rate of 95 would bring us down. There's no reason to assume more than a 10% dropout rate, I don't think. So 700. So there's 700 left in the study, 350 getting multi-kind, 350 not getting the multi-kind. Now, let's assume every patient was dosed. The last patient was dosed September 16. Let's say everybody in the study was dosed September 2016. That would mean doing a back of the envelope computation, and I haven't even done that. I'm just thinking about these numbers in my head. That would mean 350 of the patients were in the control group, and 350 got the multi-kind. So 350 in, say 350 in each group. Of course, I'm making up some of these numbers. In each group, control group, in, say 350 in control group. Okay, so let's say 350 are in the control group, 350 got dosed. And 3 years later, here's another fact, according to studies, I think SEER did studies, whatever that stands for, that the number of expected events after 3 years, say September 2019, should have been roughly half, or 175. So 175 deaths expected by 919 in control group. And that's a conservative number because it's estimated between 50 and 55% won't make it after 3 years. That means we did not from the multi-kind dose group, we did not get 120, we didn't get 123 events. So that conclusion, less than 123 events from multi-kind group. So 123 versus 175. Let's say it ends that way. Those are the numbers. That still meets primary endpoint of 10% improvement, right? It's 123 is a hell of a lot better than 175, more than 10% better. More like, let's see, 30% better. And that's taking all the worst case scenarios with respect to the numbers. So unless I'm figuring something drastically wrong, I don't see how the primary endpoint could not be met. Well, unless the dropout is crazy high, which which according to the CEO is more than likely not the case, or most definitely not the case. So to me, it looks like The more time it takes, the more likely it is to get a blowout result. Now, what about the other endpoints, the quality of life and the pathology reports, the shrinkage of the tumors? Well, we know in phase 2 that there was, I think, 2 out of a small group, 2 out of 19 or something, complete remissions, and 42% total partial remissions. So that's pretty damn good for a small number of people. Now, if those kinds of numbers continue on for the big study, I think we're sitting on a gold mine here. Now, of course, there could be something very wrong with my math that I'm not figuring at all correctly. If so, you can come on and correct me. Just come on and write a chat message and explain where my math is wrong. But let's say my math is wrong. Doesn't really matter. Even if my math is wrong, the longer it takes, it's common sense, the longer it takes, the more chance it is that the dosed group with multikine is contributing less to the number of events than the control group, standard of care only. Linda's made money on fuel cell twice. CVM, it's going to be bigger, Linda. Linda, I think it's going to be bigger. What about the threat of arrays? Jiggly, that's a good question. I must have had a brain transplant, but I wanted to look at the numbers a little bit. I thought about the numbers, but today when it went soaring above its old high, I said, why? And I said, well, it must be baked into the numbers. Success must be baked in. So I started thinking about it. I thought about all the numbers that I know, or at least I think I know. And unless I'm making serious errors in my numbers, I'm doing all my calculations, not even on the back of an envelope mentally, I'm pretty sure the numbers work in our favor of CVM having a tremendous successful trial. So if it has a 30% better survival than standard of care only, what is CVM worth? That's the question. And also meets secondary and tertiary endpoints. I would have to say it's worth a lot. Now, that's kind of vague, but I'm not really clear on what it's worth. According to the CEO, it could be worth $10 to $12 billion even before approval. And maybe that's true. Why would he lie? So my feeling is the only thing the bears and the shorts have going for them is the threat of another going back to the capital markets for more money. And I don't think that's going to happen at this point, because I think the CEO will hold out until data at this point. It's got to be around the corner. And I'm sure the options at that point, when we get blowout numbers, will be either to partner up, sell, or to go it alone. All three good alternatives, probably, because I think the data is going to be phenomenal, and approval will come way ahead of any competitor. I can't see this being bad. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I can't see the trial actually ending badly. So I welcome counter arguments, the bear case. I don't see a bear case, but if there is one, come on and let me know. Let me know with a comment. Let me know later on Twits and on Twitter. All right. You want me to be less serious now, Jiggly? You want me to tell jokes about the Democrats? Michael Bloomberg, everybody's going to be attacking Michael tonight? Yeah, because he's the new kid on the block and he's running second in the polls when everyone's been killing themselves from day one. So they're jealous that he could just buy the election. And maybe he can. All right, enough Democrats. Coronavirus, it looks like it's not making headlines, which is good. Athx, let's take a look at athx. I want to look at that chart. I forgot how hard it is to be serious, get all your facts straight. Not so easy. Where do I think CVM is going? I do think it's going to continue up right through data into the 20s at this point. And the longer it takes, the more it'll go up. So it's liable to be pretty damn high but before data. And if the data disappoints, it'll go down a lot. But I think meeting is at least assured. I don't see how it couldn't be. But who knows? The data is blinded. Nobody actually knows. All right. Athx, let's take a look at this. It's been repelled by the 50 today. Not a good sign. It's been showing a lot of weakness lately, Athx. And I worry about the stock price coming down to these lows and actually going below the lows that we see here at about 118. So I think 118 is a line in the sand. If it crosses that, we could drift down towards the dollar mark or even below. So where are the catalysts? Well, the only catalyst near term that I see is a possible partnering on the partnering either in China or or you're not looking at this chart, are you? Because I didn't do share screen. All right, I just realized that. So let me just come back to StreamYard. Let me do share screen. I'm not even going to bother with the chart. You didn't see the CVM chart either, I guess. No big deal. The CVM chart is very bullish. The athx chart is not so bullish at all, but not that critical. Jackie, how you doing, Jackie? So yeah, so I think athx has to hold 118 in order for it not to go back to $1 and test its all-time lows. And the catalyst would be getting a partner for the master's trial, and especially in Europe. And I think that's what the CEO is shopping right now, along with possibly a partner for expansion into China. So China, with the coronavirus, might be able to use an anti-inflammatory, which is essentially what multi-stem is, to fight the inflammation that occurs when coronavirus turns into pneumonia. So this might be useful in China, and I think somebody tweeted that out to fight the coronavirus. So I think we may see something like that, especially if coronavirus continues to be a threat. But that's a pure speculation, of course. The two main catalysts are odds in Japan and stroke in Japan. And of course, the law of large numbers, which was written about in an essay yesterday, it summarizes it in a nutshell. There's tremendous market for a stroke drug. Now, the trial is set up that the patients are administered the drug between 18 and 36 hours. That's a hell of in the trial. So that means it's effective through, or at least the assumption is it's effective through 36 hours. Whereas standard of care is only the first few hours, TPA. And mechanical, whatever it's called, I don't know how long that's effective for. Jake said he's going to be doing a full report on athx on Friday. So I will defer to him on the details of the trial and so on. So we're going to wait for Jake on the details of the treasure trial, but I'm expecting excellent results here come the end of the year, according to Hardy, the Helios KK CEO. The last patient dosed in the study should come in the summer. 3 months later should come the data. So there we go. You're looking at the end of the year. And odds is a similar timeline in Japan. I don't know which will come first, probably odds by a whisker. Okay, so the catalysts are a ways off. If the catalysts are a ways off, the shorts can play. So that's the problem that I see with athx. All right, what else? Okay, fuel cell is on fire, true. We could look at the chart on that. But I wanted to look at Amazon and Dow Jones and just wrap it up for today. I think next time I have actual numbers to share with you, I'm going to have to write them down ahead of time instead of relying on my memory, which isn't as good as it used to be. All right, so the Dow Jones Industrial Averages for today. What is this? I don't know where that came from. Oh, this is better. Amazon. Amazon, when the market was going down, the other day, had a beautiful green candle, nearly an engulfing candle, not quite, which was very indicative of strength on a down market. So yesterday's candle reaffirmed in my mind the bullish case short term for Amazon. So I love Amazon. I think Amazon will hit 3,000 by the end of the year. I think we're in a bull run right now that should take us probably to about 2,400 before a serious correction. So Amazon, very bullish. I'm very bullish the Dow as well. So I think, again, this candle was a very big tip-off yesterday on a down day. Take a look at the Dow. Okay, the Dow, this doesn't look right. It keeps coming up June. I don't know why. Let's get it now. 29,348. I'm still not sharing screen. Today is a bad day for Dr. J. I'm not at my best. Having trouble today. I give myself a bad grade today. I'm sorry, I apologize. It's been that kind of day for me right from the beginning, which is not good. I shouldn't do the show when I'm having this kind of a day, but outside of the successful stock market portfolio. I had not the best day today. All right, anyway, let's take a look at the Dow, and I'll take a quick look at all the charts that I thought I was looking at earlier. The Dow is in a zoom channel. It had a little correction off an intermediate high, and now we're going to make new highs. We're going to take out the 29,568 high of 5 days ago, and we're going to start making new highs heading to 30K. Dow 30K is a week away. Now let's go back to Amazon again. CVM. I just want to take a quick snapshot of all the stocks I talked about. It's a little slow in loading. This is a big green candle that we put in today. It's a bullish candle, like the likes of which make longs very, very happy. So this long is extremely happy as to the stock market's performance today. Outside of the fact that I had a terrible day for other reasons, the market really made the difference in my day today. So I had a very good day today. CVM led the charge. Tandem is doing well. athx actually had a few pennies up today. Everything I own practically. SPCE had a nice run and continued today. So today was a very good day in the market for Dr. J, compensating for other factors that weren't so good. In any event, look at this. But it bust out. It's busting out. As I said before, we're going to 20 and above before data. So that's a quick look at that one. I want to do a quick look at athx and Amazon. And then I'll take a request. If you want fuel cell, I'll do that one. Okay, so athx was repelled by the 50-day moving average at $1.29 and closed kind of in the middle of made a doji and very, very non-committal candle today. And what I'm worried about with athx is that the 118 low should hold. This low right in here must hold. If not, it could be a nice big drop down to the dollar level. So I'm a little concerned about that. Amazon is looking very strong. amzn. Amazon, the key was yesterday on a down day when most everything was red, had have turned in a very solid green candle. Continuation today, although not a great candle today. It was higher and closed it as a doji. I expect 2,400 though within a couple of weeks on Amazon. Let's say by the end of March. 2,400 on its march towards 3,000. Then we could get a little correction at about that 2,400 level. All right, let's take a look at fuel cell for Linda. Linda's did a double celebration today, CVM and fuel cell. So fuel cell gapped up today after this cup and handle type pattern. If it takes out the old high back here at $3, is it a double top? I guess it is. Let's see, 293 now. So if it takes out $3, who knows where this one will stop? It's got a very bullish chart, Linda. Congratulations if you got in near the lows back here. I think you did. Linda made money twice on it. This will have made money a lot of money twice on this, right, Linda? You made out really good on this one. I hope it takes off well above the $3 level. So I'm going to stop sharing screen at this point. And Mark is on. Hey, Mark, how you doing? And Alex is on. Tcon, okay. Take a look at that. Chris, ARWR. Oh, sorry to hear that. Let's take a look at ARWR. Why not? And we'll take a quick look at tcon as well. And then we'll call it a day. I didn't notice that it dipped below 40. It'd been okay all day. Arrowhead. It's been a strong performer. Okay. Closed at 39.93. After hours, back above the 40. Will the 200-day hold? I certainly think it will. I certainly do. I feel confident the 200-day will hold here. It's on very little volume. And where we're near the oversold. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's forming a new bottom right about here, and we should break out of this hopefully sooner than as opposed to later. So we have this triangle forming. What was the low here? 39.61. So that's important. $39.61. All right, I think we should be okay. I think there's maybe a couple more days that it'll test the waters and then head north again. I'm not too concerned about a little dip below 40. It's just a round number, that's all. And I don't even know if it gets to test the 200. I think it's going to turn soon. That's judging from this triangle here. It should come out of it. This looks like consolidation. So it should come out of it and move back up. And look at the floor right here. It's a solid floor. So we have going back to November, we have a lot of support right at these levels. So I'm not too concerned at all. I don't think we even dip down that low. So we'll see what happens. But I am not selling mine. In fact, I might even think about adding here, maybe. All right. The thing is, there's so many other interesting plays. I don't know if I actually add at this point because there's so many other things you could be in. What was the other one? Fcel did great with CVM, yes. What was the other stock that I wanted to chart? You're not selling either, right? Forgot already. I don't know why I don't see the person. Oh, tcon. Yeah, let me chart tcon. I don't know what tcon. I don't follow tcon, but let's take a look at the chart, see if it tells us anything amazing. tcon Pharmaceuticals. Okay, so it's trading. The price is trading above the 100, but not above the 200. So it had been higher, going back a ways, I guess. And it seems to be in a trading range at this point. And then we got to wait to see which way it breaks out. So I think this is one way you just let the chart dictate what to do. So the low of this trading range is right around here, and the high of the trading range is right around here. So it's trading between the lines, and which way will it go? Gee, let's see, which way will it go? I would have to say it's been in this range forever, all the way back to September 2019. Wow. I don't know. This is a tough one for Dr. J, just taking a quick look at it. Right now, I guess the best way to play it is between the lines. Go long at about 372. Look to sell it up near the 200 at 462. And short it at that point, or just get out of it and see if it goes above, goes through the upper resistance. You could let the price resolve itself, or you could play it between the lines, however you like. Looks like a good play between the lines. Swing traded. It's probably decent. Also, though, you see this big green candle? To me, that's extremely bullish, and it's only come back halfway. So I think eventually it will break north. Just a question of when. If it breaks below the bottom, the middle of this green candle, below this support, then all bets are off. So I think these two lines are very important. All right, so this is an interesting one. I'm glad you pointed me out tcon. It's good for a swing trade, maybe even right now, get in right now, look to get out at the 200. Interesting play. I might actually look at this more seriously. Thank you. Thank you for pointing this one out to me. Who pointed it out? Alex. Thank you, Alex. tcon is interesting for a swing trade. Snaid likes it too. Do you like this one, Snaid? So Snaid, who do you like in the Democratic primary tonight? You have a favorite Democrat that you want to see make it? Farmersville TX, how about that? CVM, ooh, Spoon, how about it? I'm so excited about it. I really am excited. Very exciting. CVM is very exciting. Extremely exciting. And it's the stuff that dreams are made out of. That's, where that comes from, the Maltese Falcon. Codex hasn't moved yet, even with extra news received. Yeah, what did it close, about $3, Rove? Fixel, looking forward to seeing Bloomberg. Yeah, I have a feeling he's going to get bombed by the other Democrats. They're all going to go after him. And will he be able to hold up? I don't know. His money isn't going to help him. He's just going to have to do it on his own on the debate stage. And I just don't know if he can. I think it's going to be Bernie. Bernie against Trump. And that should be an interesting race. How about ontx and Vive? Kamal, I think your man is going to win it. Kamal, I think Bernie is going to win it for the Democrats. 6-5 favorite in Vegas. $303 was the close on Codex, CODX. Yeah, not too good. So what do we do with that one, Raul? Dump it? I might dump it. ontx and Vive. I'll give you one of them. Which one do you want? Feel the burn, says Dustin.
He does.
Lynn says the lab in China gives results in 15 minutes. Kamal says Sanders all the way, right? How high can SPCE run? Well, I almost sold mine today. They came so close, but I said no. I'm in it to win it. I got in at 1560. I started calculating how much I made, and it was giving me a headache. So I said, "The hell with it. I keep it in there." I don't know what to do with it. If I get out of it, what am I going into? You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know how high it could go. SPCE could go to 100, I guess. 100 is a good round number. All right. ontx and Vive. Probably not 100. Probably 70 would be a point where I'd have to sell it if it gets to 70 quickly. Onconova Therapeutics. What a collapse that this one had. Ooh. All the way into Pennyland. Struggling to overcome this big red candle here. I mean, from the chart, there's nothing to get excited about. The only thing I could say is it's stabilizing it at the 50. And looks like great support at the 50. So if you want to get in, maybe you wait a little bit lower than this. Get in the 40s. I don't know the fundamentals. There might be a nice story behind this one. I don't know. But from the chart, nothing to speak of. This one may cross 100. That might be another incentive to go in. You got to watch it. And the other one was VIVE. I would say this is not a typical Kamal play on Canova. $1.80. What the heck? Lower today, $1.72, high 209. It's a very strange looking chart. Let me just change this to a 4-hour interval. I don't know. There we go. Now I can make some heads or tails out of this. So it closed the day on a downward note, had been gapped up at some point. Yeah, gapped up to start the day, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It must have gapped up on news. I don't know what the news was. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know enough about this one to make a judgment. But from the chart, it looks interesting because it has this symmetry, and it took out this end this it took out the left end zone, so to speak, with a nice gap up. So it might be playable here. Again, I'd like to know the fundamentals on this one. I might look at this one some more and get back to you on this. Will it continue? Will it fill this gap? I don't know. I mean, it depends on how strong the fundamentals are and what the news was that caused this gap up. Where did it gap up from? Let's see, the close yesterday was 136. The open today, 178. That's a nice gap. Don't know. Can't tell you on this one. Jiggly, does Spike have coronavirus? Is he okay? Does he get sick pay from Dr. J for today? He's on a family vacation. He's allowed. I should have gone away with my family, but I didn't. Okay. So the story about ontx is a lot of insider buys, phase 3 results for a cancer drug. Okay. Thanks, Norman, for filling this in. Anyone know the story on vive, V-I-V-E? On ontx, phase 3 data due first half of 20. Okay. So I really have to look into these. I think the one that interested me the most on the chart for a swing trade is tcon. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap it up now. It's time to say goodnight from Long Island, New York. Thanks for joining Dr. J live from Long Island, New York. And I'll be back on Friday with Jake, who promises a full research report on athx. And we'll see you then. Ciao. Bye-bye, Clarence.